Now, I don't got the fancy music. I don't got the intro like I'm Skywalker still. Maybe Voch can give me some of that. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah.
Come on, Foster King. What's good with you,
Hey,
sir?
we just rock on the road, like we just rock on a limb. We ain't tripping.
Yeah. It's all good. What's happening, y'all? Everybody tuning in right now, man. Got a little bit of draft work, a little bit of cowboy talk. Foster King wanna talk some O line today. You know what I
Hey,
mean? We're gonna get that going.
and for all y'all who I really wanted to bring Voch in for this show, for if nothing else, he does great work with everything he does, right? But Lyman, he does outstanding work. And not just guys that'll be Cowboys guys, but just guys that just around the league. He knows his stuff. And so, for those of you who don't know, Mr. Voch Lombardi is on the channel Voch. What up, homie?
Man, appreciate it, man. VOCHLOMBARDI, Monday through Thursday on the volume, 306 Central Time. Me and my man's Will still holding it down. That's one of our guys, man. Will Foots, I was saying too, bro. Law
Yeah.
Nation about to hit 100,000 subs, so we got to do something to commemorate. You know what I mean? We got to show respect. We got to show love and celebrate him, man. That's huge for any cowboy YouTuber, you know.
Nah, if Law did hit that 100K, even
No
if
way.
he didn't, he's
He had
just
95 Foots.
well, he bought it, knock that out there. 95. Let's just go ahead and give him the 100K. Shout out to you, Law Nation. Shout out to Okoye. Shout out to everybody that we work with.
Yeah.
We're gonna get right into this because I know me and Voch can get long-winded, and I want to give him the floor.
It's cool. Slow down, for this is no problem, man. We'll be all right, man. I was just talking shit, man. I mean, you know, we good. You know.
Okay, cool.
But how about this? Fuzz? I'll do it like this, right? Interior offensive lineman, guys. I do think we're gonna fuss about a lot of these dudes, but let's talk about this this one guy that I think we're gonna have a consensus about. You sent me your list. I scoured it. And I went to my patreon.com/Voch Lombardi, and I watched my film with some other guys. We were just watching film in there. I took a look at 72 left guard. Andrew Voorhees.
Andrew Voorhees.
Andrew
USC.
Voorhees from USC. Hey,
Yeah.
Foots. Now, come on, man. You talking about a guy. And look, the whole conversation about drafting offensive line, right, is drafting another left side player. Terrence Steele, cool. Zach Martin, cool. Tyler Biadasz, Pro Bowler now, right? But the question mark is Tyler Smith going to be a left tackle for you or a left guard for you? It seems like you in the camp of keep Tyler at left tackle. I'm a Tyler at left guard guy. That's no problem. But my only thing is if Tyler's going to be a left tackle, you got to find me a good guard. You got to find me an adequate, powerful guard because I'm sick of Connor McGovern and I'm sick of small dudes that used to play tackle playing guard for us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I watch Andrew Voorhees. I see size. I see power. Yeah. I see such an anchor. You know how some dudes got to give a couple steps. They got to pop 3 or 4 times to get their anchor set. Voorhees, if he touch you at the line of scrimmage, y'all stop at the line of scrimmage, right? Run game powerful, run game nasty. I pair that dude with Tyler Smith. The run game is great again, Foster King. Go ahead.
Can I read you my notes? It's crazy how we're in lockstep.
Please.
USC, Andrew Voorhees. I think I had 320 on him, but those numbers could be off. Really like his film. Anchors really, really well, powerful. Doesn't pull particularly well, but he can do it. Movement and feet aren't his game, but power and hand punch are. Love his punch. Love the way he finishes box, and he plays with a nasty streak. Voch, I'm gonna put my rankings on the ticker, and we'll just start with Voorhees. So, wow, like that's crazy how we didn't plan this. Like that's the thing that I love about working with Voch Lombardi. Voch, you're saying left side player. Can we argue for a little bit,
please?
You with Voorhees, right?
My glasses on. Oh yes, sir. Go ahead.
Who has some center flexibility. And has done all sorts of things, right?
Yes, sir.
I just think that we need to upgrade the line in general. But left side player, I do want to keep Tyler Smith at tackle. So before we get into this, is what I really want to fuss at you about. Tell me why you 100% just have to have Tyler Smith at guard, and then we'll get back to these prospects.
Because
I'm gonna write them out. Sorry.
Because I think when you're more solidified on the inside, right?
Right.
Okay, so look, when you're deficient on the inside foots, it's harder to hide that, right? Like you can hide a not so good tackle, step up into a pocket, you know what I mean? You can chip with a guy, you can go the opposite direction, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we see guys like Cam Irving, guys like Cam Fleming, when those dudes, Tyler Smith, when those dudes live, when those dudes are on the outside and they may not be great, you can navigate that, right? That's how your Cowboys are like 30, 31st in pass rush win rate, but Dak Prescott just knows how to navigate pockets like that, right? Now, run game, that's a whole different story or whatever. But I just feel like when your Dallas Cowboys are always at their best, they got a gangster at left guard and they got a gangster at right guard. You know what I'm saying? Doug and Tyron was cool, right? But it's something about that middle. It's two things you got to do to properly run the inside zone. You got to deal with A gap. You got to block the mic. Deal with A gap, you got to block the mic. Those two blocks, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be executed by your interior guys, right? So if you really want your run game to flourish, you need bodies to hit the floor in A gap and B gap, right? Tackles, we can figure this out. Also, most importantly, Jerry Jones been saying this. A lot of people been saying this. In terms of pass protection, if Josh Ball getting smoked on the outside, Dak Prescott can step up, navigate. We can do something. When Connor McGovern's getting smoked and he's right in front of Dak and Dak can't follow through, that's a problem, right? Yeah. So in my mind, I just think you're at your best when the front of you is solid. Plus your center, who then will be your weakest link, he gets a help guy in Zach Martin and he get a help guy in Tyler Smith at that point. Not that Tyler Smith would be bad at guard or tackle, but I just want to be solidified. I'm tired of the days where I got a really good left tackle, but my left guard not good. I would rather have my left guard good and he elevates my left tackle is what I want, Fuster King. But if you can give me a good left, if you can give me Voorhees, where I know he's powerful and I know he's not going to be in Dak lap because his anchor's so good and he's so nasty and he moves people from point A to point B in the run game, just got to clean some technique up a little bit, some head placement, some hand placement. Duke Manyweather got a black belt in that. You know what I'm saying?
I like that tweet, Voch.
Please give me Voorhees at left guard, and I will take Tyler Smith at left tackle at that point.
Wow, this is what you guys get when we get in a guy like Voch Lombardi. With all his picks, he's really thoughtful. Yeah, and Voch, putting it like that, you're not wrong. I just think that my counter argument to that would be Tyler did so well and basically step up, here you go duty at left tackle. So you can't go wrong either way. I do think that if their plan is to keep Tyler Smith at tackle, then they probably do need to invest in a guard. If not, and you'll get to some of these tackles for us in a little bit. We'll breeze through some of the tackles. Then they need to make adjustments. But Voorhees, I think that he could be staring at you possibly in the third round. I tweeted back at Marcus Mosher, and I'm like, I don't know. By the time the process is up, that he'll be available, because the truth of the matter is this: in the NFL, offensive line play is very deficient. True. Like there's Philly, there's Dallas, Baltimore's O-line is decent, Tennessee's O-line is decent, and don't give me don't kill me, chat box. But there's also like a lot of bad offensive lines. There's also a lot of bad offensive linemen, coaches, and teams who don't develop offensive line correctly. And I feel like that is one thing that the Cowboys do. So that'll be interesting looking at that moving forward.
So first, let me ask you a question. Yes. The kid from Northwestern, is he a guard or a tackle to you?
You're talking about
Skoronski. Peter Skoronski.
Peter Skoronski, just a mammoth. I have him. I would like him better inside, but he's a tackle.
Okay, so let's just say let's just say he is a guard, right? Let's just evaluate him as a guard today. What does Skoronski do? Because clearly, I'm about to tell you why I don't like Skoronski at guard. What does Skoronski do better? Let's just say John Michael Schmitz, and we'll use this as a transition into John Michael Schmitz. But what does Peter Skoronski do better than Schmitz or Voorhees or just guys that you would say behind him? So if he is a guard, would you have him as the number one guard on your board?
No.
Okay.
I don't think he plays with as much power.
And
It's
that's my point.
minutes.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We good. So in order for him to be good, he needs to improve his technique to deal with length at tackle. You don't see him being a guard at all because I don't see him as a guard neither. You know, some people want to put guys at guard because they may be bad tackles, or they want to put dudes at guard because you got short arms. Nah, you just a short arm, just a short arm guard at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like that don't make you a guard. What makes you a guard to me is I need base, I need power, and I need you to like really move people from point to point, like really dig dudes out of A gap and B gap. I don't get
Yeah.
Skoronski as a guy like that. Skoronski just got to play tackle for me. I don't see him as a guard at all. If he's at guard, then I automatically got three dudes better than him, three guards better than him if he's at guard.
You know what, Voch, I think that's fair, and I think that when you put it that way, you're right because with all the duo stuff and with rapping, see I can get down with you with Tyler Smith at guard because he's so angry
So
and
powerful.
he's so mad and he plays physical all the time. Chat box, what's up with y'all real quick? I haven't even spoke to the chat box, Voch. The cool thing is we got 52 people in here, Voch. And we're talking about linemen. This is our time of the year, Voch, and these fans want to know about linemen. That's why I love our fan base. That's why I love people who lock in with us, and I think that it's super, super cool. All right, number 4, Voch, Steve Avila, somebody that you like, TCU center guard. I look at him more as a guard for Dallas. I watched him in the championship game. He was kind of on my radar then, and then I went back and watched a bunch of film, watched the Kansas game. To me, Voch, you talk about powerful, mean guy.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about Avila. What are your thoughts on him if you watched him, and how do you feel, and how does he fit with Dallas?
Great size, and
Yeah.
you see dudes his size. I'm over the days of my guards being 290, being 306. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a big sized, a nice size plate, Keisha. You know what I'm saying? But my whole but with him being that big though, he has fantastic feet for his
330 for everybody who wants to know. All my height, weight guys, Voch talking about his size 6'4", 331. So he makes Connor McGovern look like a baby.
Fantastic.
Continue, Voch. Yeah.
Fantastic hands, fantastic feet for his size. I wish for his size, right? He is a mean player, but I wish he played as strong as he was big, if that makes sense. Right?
No, it does.
You know what I'm saying? But as a pass blocker, he's fantastic. He's a fantastic pass blocker of Foots. I just wish in the run game, like if I see you that big, I want you to do what Tyler did. Like I want you to take people to the sideline, but he don't do that. But he is strong enough. He's a day one starter. I just wish he was stronger for his size. But feet fantastic, pass sets fantastic, hands techniques fantastic, and all that. TCU threw the ball a lot, so you ain't really see him, lose any kind of advantages on that. So Steve Avila, fantastic player, fan of him. Second round got to me, maybe second round for you.
Yeah, I had a second round. I've seen people try to sneak him in the first round. I just don't see it there. And guards, to act like guards, are gonna go that high. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. When Dallas is picking at 26, you'll have the guard that you want if you want to go that route.
Okay, well, first let's talk. Let's rewind for 2 seconds, right? Steve Avila, you have him like a late second, something like that.
Middle second, depending on how people look at this class and they say where they want to. Do they want to take do they want to get their guards out the way and let backs or whatever fall to them because backs are really deep, corners deep this class?
I think this the problem, Foots. The problem is the Cowboys won a lot of games. So these dudes may be in these rounds, but we're at the back of the damn rounds. You know what I'm saying? So Voorhees is a guy that he could be a third round pick, but man, we at the back of the third. Steve Avila is probably a second round guy. We're at the back of the second. Do you think we got to overdraft? Do you think we have to overdraft to get one of these guys?
Well, so Voch,
really
it depends. It depends, right? So when teams find out who Dallas has high on their board, and let's hope that doesn't get out, I do believe there'll be a little bit of like, oh, you guys like Ryan Shazier. I'll never forget that year that happened when Dallas had a very high grade on Ryan Shazier, and then Pittsburgh jumps in and they swipe him. I do see that happening, Voch. That's a very good point to where it's like, hey, you like one of these guards or these DBs, but you may have to overcompensate because you know for a fact that he's not going to make it to where you are in the third round. And again, a position that may go long, running back, because I actually want to bring you back for the running back conversation, but I really want to fuss with you on that one as well. Running back may stretch a little bit longer because I'm talking to people online. They're like, well, interior O lineman doesn't stretch long. I'm like, well, hold on a minute. I see some of these guys. Tipperman can play. I didn't even have him on my list. Obviously the guys that we have here, and then you have some of these tackles who, like Voch is telling you, maybe Skoronski. The feet with Skoronski, I don't know if he could chase Micah Parsons all game. So maybe he's not a tackle in the NFL. So he's going to be graded as a guard.
My problem with Skoronski though, and just hear me out, right? The curious case of Peter Skoronski. This is my thing about him, right? I'm not just putting him at guard because he got short arms. Because some people will tell you, well, Voch, short arm guys, they're good tackles all the time, right? My problem is when I watch Skoronski on film and he deals with long arm guys, he doesn't have the technique to deal with long arm guys. That's the difference, right? Rashawn Slater didn't have long arms, but he had technique to deal with long. His Chase Young highlight tape, masterclass, right? So when Chase Young tried to get long arm with him, what did he do? He tried to bend him at the elbow to make them arms a little shorter. He worked those wrists up a little bit to control them. He come down and replace, right? We saw Old Northwestern, Rashawn Slater. We saw him do those things. Peter Skoronski, somebody long get a hand on him. He just reach all day.
Lunges a lot. I wrote that down.
He just reach all day, Fusty King. And I'm going, okay, you can't play tackle like that, but you can't put him at guard because he's not powerful. So my thing to make Skoronski good is you just got to teach him technique, because you can teach him technique, but you can't make him strong. Like you can't make him that much stronger where he's digging Jeffrey Simmons out of B gap or something. He's like that ain't his game. You know what I'm saying? That's Voorhees' game.
Yeah, Voorhees. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Steve V can do it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think Skoronski's. I don't think he's a guy that's going to be able to do that. So in my mind, Foots, I'm not even consider. He's either a center, or he's a or he's a left tackle that needs work. That's my take on Skoronski. I think he got the feet to do it, but he ain't got the arms, he ain't got the technique, and he ain't got the damn he long. What do I do-ness about him? That's some new shit for us, but it is what it is.
I like that. What do I do now? I like that.
Well, what do I do about
it? Well, the truth is, when you guys are hearing Voch speak on technique, and he's right, technique is tricky. Technique is tricky, and what Voch is saying is, some guys will dig in and get better with it. I.e. Terrence Steele, and they'll be able to clean some of that stuff up. And then some guys, they get to the league.
But go ahead, Terrence Steele like 6'5", you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a massive dude.
Like Connor Williams on his biggest offseason peanut butter day was 308. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Well, and Voch, with those interior guys, regardless of size, and this may be more of a knock on Skoronski, where maybe I'm not gonna say he gets overdrafted, but maybe the bust potential is there, because you look at a guy like Tyler Linderbaum, right? Mm-hmm. The question was, and Voch just said he doesn't want any more 290 guard, 290 center, whatever. Cool, but the technique was always flawless. Like he played the position like he was a technician at center, and interior lineman, right? With Skoronski, I think one of these things is that, the thing is, you don't see him really be good at anything but being big. Mm-hmm. But, I see some strength for a tackle, and I've seen some good reps, but then, what you're saying, Voch, with speed to power, it kind of is tricky. I
don't think he's a bad player. I just think top 12 is madness. I just think top 12 is just ridiculous. But anyway, let's move on.
But you know what, Voch? A lot of people make mistakes. A lot of people are bad at drafting. We've said this for. We've been doing this now. What? Going on 6 years, Voch. We've been doing this for a long time now.
Yeah, team suck at drafting. Let me just turn the music down real fast. Aisha Morrison from DallasCowboys.com is in the chat, so I just want to give a walkout. She swear we don't rock with her. She swear we don't rock with her.
If she want to invite, she can jump in. Like
She's
Aisha does her thing.
she swear we don't rock with her. I just wanted to, you know what I mean?
She's too big for us now.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Big bad, you know, ching, ching, ching. Go ahead, though, Fister King. Who's your next guy?
Let's go, Luke Whippler, Ohio State. Now, Voch, that whole and I want you to get to Dewan as well. Dewan Jones.
Dewan's so good.
Uh, um, but Voch, the cool thing about him was he just left the Senior Bowl. Like he went through. Listen, for those of y'all who don't know, he went to the Senior Bowl, went through one set of drills. Was like, all right,
I'll let y'all. I got my money. Y'all be cool now. Y'all be cool now. Make me a plate. We good. I'll holler at y'all, boys.
Hey, Voch.
The boy went his ass right back to Columbus, boy. He said, we good.
They said, hey, listen, they said his agent said, oh, no, there's enough
you
of
good?
this.
No, you have seen enough.
But and then we'll get to your tackles, but did he help him? How much did he help himself, Voch?
Man, Foots, I already have a problem with a lot of people's preseason boards, right? Because you may grade a dude as Brad Kai is the best quarterback in the draft in October, and then all of a sudden we get to the real draft process. Film ain't changed at all, but all of a sudden, he a fifth round guy, right? So all the people that have Dewan Jones low, I'm confused because I haven't seen any film that indicates that he would be a low guy. And there's not a Senior Bowl process that can make me feel that much better about Dewan Jones. Dewan Jones' regular film is amazing. It's incredible. Now he's not a top 15 guy, of course, because he's not the athlete. That's where it pairs the left tackle, right?
I did like his feet though, Voch. Like his feet weren't bad. Yeah,
Dewan got cool feet for a big dude, but his length is where he really gets you at. So like you can rush, so you can speed rush him and get to his back hip, but his hands are always going to catch you, and he has enough hips to. All right, I got your ass. Now we turning, and now we, now we back even. Now we back square. So I'm watching Dewan. He don't have no power issues or nothing like that. But the icing on the cake was if you watch Ohio State versus Georgia, the playoff game, Jalen Carter ended up on Dewan a couple times, and Jalen went back to the other side, beat up on Paris. So,
see this, and this is what you get with Voch Lombardi, man. This is where I wanted to bring him. I wanted to bring him in. So let's talk Whippler for a second, Voch. He's a center who has said, well, first of all, he can play all 5 positions on the line.
Whippler?
He's done that at Ohio State. And what I saw with him on film was the ability to stay square. Like one thing that I noticed with Kelsey, and it's hard for me to give Eagles fans really any credit, but one thing that I will Voch and the producer, right? One thing that I will say about Eagles fans, and one thing that I will say about Kelsey is just a simple fact that he's such a controlled player, right? So when they're reaching, when they're pin pulling, when he has to go second level, he does such a good job. Voch, talk on him for a second.
I don't know how you got this high on your list.
I like him, Voch.
Right? Talking about the center 53?
Yeah.
I don't know how you got that high on your list.
Here's why. He said stop the cap. Here's why. But here's why though, Voch. Because I'm great. I'm looking at him as a guard.
Oh, that's worse. That's worse. You're guard. Yo, look, I was watching him.
I like him, Voch. I like him a lot.
Look, I was watching him as a center. I was like, well, at least if he's a center, he gonna always have a help guy. If he had guard, I mean,
I like him, Voch. What didn't you like about him? Let's talk about it.
I ain't like shit about him. I mean, he was just a solid player. He was cool. It was too many plays in between him having good plays that I thought was impressive. But he was a guy that stayed square on his blocks. He was a solid second level dude.
That's what I wrote down.
He was always a help guy. Just when he was engaged in these one-on-ones, I just didn't think he was very impressive. In terms of just straight up center guys, I don't think he's better than Tippmann or John Michael Smith.
No.
Or none of those. Yeah, okay.
But I don't think that Smith is going to play center in the NFL, Voch.
I think he could do either. I think.
I think he'll be a swing, but I mean, I have him. He'll make himself a lot of money at guard, Voch.
Smith's probably. Yeah, he could do either, but What the boy?
No,
What
no,
team?
I'm glad. Let's disagree a little bit more. Let's fight.
All
So,
right, cool.
Voch,
Yeah,
on that O line, and they're
yeah.
going against Georgia, right?
Okay.
And maybe we need to go watch and just sit down and watch Ohio State's O line versus Georgia.
Okay.
I didn't think he was terrible. Like that was the film I started with. I didn't
I
think
can go
he was
find it. I can go
god
find it. Want me to go
awful.
find it? I can go find it. Want me to go find it?
Go find a Voch, but we
Okay.
don't want to turn this into that type of segment.
Yeah, yeah. We
We
won't
love
do
it
that.
all day, all
We'll
day.
do that later. We'll do it later.
We'll do
But
that
yeah,
later.
I just seen a player as a center, right? Because as a center, you got to operate in both directions. I just kind of saw a dude that got bumped around a lot, like he was just on his little roller coaster, is what we called it, and he just wasn't a dude that I saw play with a lot of plot. And look, mind you, I watched him after I watched Voorhees. So after Voorhees is moving everybody to the sideline,
Voorhees is so. So I need to switch these two. Is that what you're
right?
saying?
Yeah. You know, I literally saw Voorhees throw people out the club. I saw Luke bump into people trying to get to the DJ to change the song. He just couldn't get there because there was so many people just bumping shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but he plays center, so he's always going to be getting help. I just wouldn't rank him over Steve Avila or Voorhees, sir.
So I need that's fair, Voch. And listen, one thing about it is this draft season, so we can have these conversations, and I don't pretend to know it all, especially on this type of stuff, especially line play. I think that you are the GOAT when it comes to that. Voch, where do you have Cody Mock? Am I wrong on Mock? What are we doing, Voch? And because I obviously he played tackle in North Dakota State, but he came to the Senior Bowl and was like, I'll do whatever. So what I grade him as an interior lineman. Am I wrong? Throw a tomato at me. What am I doing?
No, you good. Let me tell you why I had to watch a lot of Cody Mock, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first film I watched versus Albany, right? And I was like, all right, Cody, I'm gonna need you to beat the shit out of the Albany kids. You know what I'm saying? I just can't have you having close fight. Like Albany barely got a football team, bro. So Cody Mock, you know what I mean? I need you to come out here and smoke the Albany kids. And he was having some problems with the Albany kids. And I was like, why is Cody? Why is it? And you know, I'm expecting, you know, you went to the Senior Bowl versus that good competition. You were solid. Why are you having a problem with the Albany kids? Turns out Albany got number 6 is a pro level pass rush. He's coming out in this draft. But the other dude, 96, 98, something like that, he's a dude that plays for Florida State right now. And he's transfer guy. And he's going to be a guy that's going to be a first round pick next year. So I was like, okay, I feel better now. Because at first I was like, ain't no way Cody Mock having a problem with the Albany kids, but turns out both those dudes are pro level guys. So if y'all happen to be watching Cody Mock versus Albany, just keep that in mind that he's not losing to a mortgage loan processor. You know what I mean? Like that's an actual first round pick. So now I had to rewatch the film with that in mind, and I went, okay, so he's not very technically nuanced, right? But he's an angry dude. I can work with ass whoop, Pussy King. If you want to block somebody, if you got some audacity, and a lot of this is what I have. I have a big problem with Osiris Torrance, but we'll talk about that. Cody Mock has so much audacity, and I do think he's strong for his size. I don't think he's a huge guy, but I do think he's strong for his size. And I really like what you said, that he could play everything, and I do think he can play everything. I do think he'll be a really good guard. I think he's built for tackle though. He just need to refine all of his traits or whatever, right? So he can be an angry, strong guard guy, but since he's a little bit smaller, what I would like for him to stay at tackle and just refine the position. I want him to just get the coaching, refine the position, and keep that nasty mentality. And look, he has athleticism. That dude comes off the football. He smokes off the football. He's a demon on the second level. I just need him to refine some of that tackle stuff, and I need him to stay in that weight room, Fussy King. I want to keep Cody Mock at tackle, but if you want to put him at guard, especially at center, a gangster at center, you can't go wrong with that. But I particularly want to keep him at tackle. And the good thing about it is he can play either tackle, so I do like that.
Voch, do you agree with great stuff, by the way? Voch, do you agree with David Smith here? To me, Mock will be ran over in the NFL. I love it, but he needs to get strong. Did you see that on film as well, Voch?
A lot of dudes
like the short days are right.
Well, a lot of dudes gonna get run over.
Well, Voorhees ain't getting run over.
No.
But, his lower half, he ain't. That's a big dude, man.
I do think Mouch. Is it Mouch or Mouch?
I'm gonna just say Cody Mock. I could be wrong.
So I think Mock does need to put on some strength and just a little bit of size, but that's what the offseason peanut butter is for. So I don't
Right.
think he's a fresh out the box guy. Of course not.
Okay.
Maybe a guy like next year or so. But I think what's going to help him in a lot of those exchanges is his audacity to want to just smoke people. Like he wants to just smoke people. And even when he was going against these pro guys, he was going against these Senior Bowl guys, he may be outmatched from a pure talent level, but his audacity gets him to the halfway point at least. You know what I mean? So yeah, he could use some size. I think he's fine size wise, but if you really just work on that power, and all that'll come. Grown man body will come. You know what I'm saying? Weight room will come, but that audacity, that nastiness, that angriness, that's half the fight. That's half the fight. So I'm rolling with him. I don't think he's better than John Michael. I don't think he's better than Voorhees, you know what I mean, a video or something like that. But I do think he's a guy that maybe like late second, like mid third, if you want to get him somewhere around there, like in the 80s somewhere. I think he's the top 100 player for sure. I like him though.
Man, excellent stuff, Voch. We got 2 more prospects, and then I want you to kind of just run through your tackles. First of all, chat box, thank you guys so much for showing up on Tuesday night talking O lineman. This is the beauty of the draft. It's not about this is where we get into the people who want to dig deep and go deep. You know what I mean? And then, truth be told, the combine is this weekend. Voch. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
That's actually kind of wild. But this is what Voch always says, and I've adapted this as well. We don't have to rush, y'all. No, we don't. Like, I'm not rushing. Like, I've done that in the past, and I've misevaluated a few guys, and I don't want to do that. And I don't want to now I'm going to go back and watch Whippler, and I want to see, you know what, Voch is on to something. Maybe I did have him a little too high, or this, that, and the third. And then vice versa. Okay, me and Voch are going to fight here. I do have 2 number ones. I'm really big on Osiris Torrance. Voch is so. Voch is really big on John Michael Smith. My argument for Torrance is, though he did lose reps against DeAndre Carter, I thought that he played well. I think that he needs to be cleaned up. But I think that his feet are good enough to be, first of all, he's a massive human being. Second of all, when you hear him talk, he wants to get better. Third of all, I just think that having him and Tyler Smith next to each other would just scare people because of how big he is and how physical he does play. However, there are times where I see him overset, lunge, and when he loses big. And I think that that's going to be an issue that he needs to clean up.
Is he a lazy guy? Is he a lazy guy?
I don't know if he's lazy, Voch, as much as I don't know how good the coaching is at Florida. Like, if he's at Iowa.
This is Florida.
But Voch, if he's at a Big Ten team, is he a better lineman?
Shit, I don't know. He probably still.
If he's at Iowa, is he a better lineman?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I was talking to somebody about Florida's quarterback coaching, and I was just like, well, with Anthony Richardson, I mean, he could throw the ball 20 miles an hour, but he can't throw it 5 and out. So, I just, I don't know. That program is, I don't know. But anyway, and then John Michael Smith, I do have as one. I just was so impressed at the Senior Bowl. I was impressed with Torrance too, but I was more impressed with Smith. Voch, take it away.
This is my thing about Osiris Foots.
Oh Lord,
it's my thing about Osiris.
And
my problem with Osiris Foots, and this problem gets bigger the more you watch these other people because it really stick out then, right? You go, Osiris, what, 350, 340, big as hell?
Yeah.
What's his excuse for his movement? Because Steve Avila is that size and he moves around just fine, right?
That's why you say lazy.
People attach the word mauler to him. I've seen some games where he kind of get pushed around. I see him doing the same roller coaster thing a little bit. But I don't see Voorhees having that problem, Footsy King. Like Voorhees, like when you hear people when you hear people talk about what they like about Osiris, you would think they talking about Voorhees. You go, oh man, the way he just picked people up and carried that anchor boy, that's strong as that. And look, with the Georgia film, right? I graded his ass on a curve, and it made me sick that I did that, right? I was like, all right, let me rewatch Osiris versus Georgia, but not the Jalen Carter plays. That made me sick a little bit, right? Because I didn't watch Rashawn Slater, but not the Chase Young plays. If you good, beat the best dudes, right?
Right.
Jalen Carter special, though. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll just watch the non-Jalen Carter plays. And he was getting pushed around on a non-Jalen Carter play. But I was like, why is he getting pushed around? Now, first, let me be clear here, because by the way I'm explaining, some people think Osiris Torres is a 7th-round pick. I think Osiris Torres have these problems because he's a body catcher and he's a little lazy. I do think he's a strong dude. I do think he's a powerful dude. But when you watch other guys, they'll go boom, 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 fop. You watch Steve Avila, fop, boom, boom, fop. Boy, he's boom, 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 fop, fop, fop. Osiris do this shit a little bit.
Grabby.
He kind of pulls these moves, or he'll just keep, you know what I'm saying? They call it T-Rex, and keep those elbows tight, and you run into me and we just, you know what I mean? We just, you know what I mean, together. He loses too much ground to be his size to me, right? Mm-hmm. So I started to go, you know what, Flister King, maybe it was a bad year. Maybe that boy had some bad shoes on. Maybe the grass in Gainesworth ain't that good. Gainesville, Florida ain't that good. I went back to his ULL film with Flister King. I went back to his ULL film. Body catching folk. So I just want to put this disclaimer out there. Mm-hmm. I think Osiris can be good. Okay. I think if he works on his conditioning, he works on that L word, lazy, he maybe loses a little weight. He gets coached up on his hands. He stopped body catching a little bit. That strength that everybody talk about, he actually starts to apply it to his striking. I think Osiris could be a good player because he is a big dude. He is a strong dude.
Huge.
On film.
Yeah.
I just see him kind of trying to get to the DJ a little bit. You know what I mean? And if you hit this table one more time, then the record might skip. Like, that's him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just other guards that I have so much more confidence in. One last thing, I'm gonna let you go. It also depends on the evaluator. I'm floor guy. You gotta ask, are you floor guy or are you ceiling guy? Osiris Torrance definitely has a high ceiling because he's big and he's strong. Right? So if you fix his body catch, you fix his hand position, you fix his feet, you fix the L word, you may have a gangster. I like dudes. I like to know what you are fresh out the box. I rip open the Amazon package. What are you right there? I know what Voorhees is. I know what Steve Avila is. I know what John Michael Smith is. I feel comfortable with those dudes day one. If Osiris Torrance is my guy, now I'm going, okay, if I do X, Y, and Z, I know he could be this. I know he cannot be slow-footed if he does this, but I know that he has these problems that I do have to deal with. But my returns aren't the same as with these other guys. That's my whole point, please.
Yeah, and you know, Voch, I think this is good stuff. I wrote it down. Grabby size, and you know, he's been tied to Dallas a lot. Now, if it's me, I will say this: if the problem is, I think that people really love John Michael Smith. But if he's staring you, I went as far as to say I would take Smith over these receivers. I'm actually not as high on this receiving class as everybody else is, and that's for another day. I just think that like it sucks that like Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't coming out because I think he's better than every receiver in this class, and it's not close. Can
I say something else, Super? Can I say something else? I see a lot of people that fight me on the Osiris Torrance take, and they always bring up this PFF stat that's going around. Well, Voch, he only gave up 1 sack according to PFF. Well, if you watch if you watch Florida's offense, it's a lot of catch and throw. It's a lot of I'm Anthony Richardson, so I'm about to just run so I don't get sacked. You know what I mean? And it's it's not a traditional drop back. You have many opportunities to sack me type offense or whatever. So I think a lot of context needs to be brought to the table when we have conversations like this. You could be a tackle. You could be like Oklahoma's tackle, Anton Harrison, right? And you could be like, okay, well, how many sacks did he give up? Well, he may give up a few, but they drop back more than Florida, right? Anthony Richardson, man, they ain't asking Anthony Richardson to pro-style drop back and throw. He's going to run around. He's going to scramble. He's going to be on the move. It's going to be a lot of play action stuff. They're going to run the football. He's going to run the football. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that may keep him from being sacked. So I don't want just, when I'm giving you film breakdown on what I saw, respectfully, everybody in the chat, I just don't want you to give me back some PFF number. right? Oh, he only gave up 1 sack. Well, tell me why he only gave up this 1 sack. And then even if he did only give up 1 sack, he's still a body catcher. He still has slow feet. He's still a little lazy sometimes. You know what I mean? So with all due respect to everybody watching, please don't throw that PFF stat at me because we watched plenty of film. We've even watched the ULL film. So respectfully, love y'all to pieces though. Go ahead.
I tell fans this all the time. I say, listen, if we're gonna talk sports, give me real reasons. Don't give me numbers because some of that stuff can be. I love the Anthony Richardson point. Anthony Richardson is probably the minute he steps on an NFL field will probably be the second best athlete at quarterback outside of Lamar Jackson. Like he's that dynamic. Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. He foot athletically, like take all the quarterback stuff away. That dude's special.
Dog. Yeah. Oh yeah, the quarterback stuff is. We'll talk about that another day. But like running.
Hey, can I just say something that might sound controversial, but like if you've been keeping up in draft land, this ain't that crazy. My whole take on Anthony Richardson, and I ain't even sure that I'm gonna roll with this. But if a coach can make Jalen Hurts good, then I'm sure somebody can make Anthony Richardson good.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You know what I mean? No, he
somebody made Josh Allen good. Yeah. That's not a myth. Josh wasn't good. Jalen wasn't good. They wasn't that good, right? Well, but somebody fixed them and made them what they are right now. They made them playoff Super Bowl championship players, right? So in my mind, somebody can take Anthony Richardson, take away all the things that he can do, put him in an offense where he mostly does things that he can do, clean up some things here or there. Anthony Richardson can be fine for you.
No, I completely agree. And then somebody said, back to the receiver point, Foots, you don't like Jackson Smith. No, I do. I love Jackson Smith and Jigma. I just think that the class as a whole is kind of down. Like, I don't think that Quentin Johnson is great. I mean, he's okay. Like, I don't think that he's going to need a lot of work when he gets to NFL. And then Jordan Addison had, dare I say, a down year. So, it's going to be interesting. I like the receivers. I would like to be drafting one where we are to where the pressure just, like, our receiver that we draft, and we'll talk about this, isn't the receiver talk, but I know that's what you guys want to talk about. He's going to come in and be a 2. Like, that's who he is. He's not going to be a 1. You have a 1.
What you're saying, though, Foots, is going to be a lot more dudes like T. Higgins than there are dudes like Jamar Chase. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying. And that's okay because that's what Dallas needs. We need a Robin. Yep. Like, go beat another teams, too. I think that Njigba can do it. And I don't think that Njigba is solely a slot player. I know that's what everybody thinks. I think that because his feet are so good and the route running is so good, I think that he can play on the outside. Now, Voch, and I'll let you go after this one. John Michael Smith.
Yeah.
Just rave about him because I know you've been waiting to.
Total package, man. Mean dude, strong dude. It's almost like he plays with a mean energy because once he started playing mean, his guards start playing mean with him. You know what I mean? And just for the middle dudes in Minnesota just start moving dudes around. You know what I mean? Like, so when you, and here's another one for us, when you watch John Michael Smith, you don't think lazy. He's another dude with audacity. No, he's another dude that's we about to go from point A to point B, and you ain't gonna stop me, bro. Like he anchored, power, strength, technique, can play guard and center. I would love to draft him as a guard. You know what I'm saying? John Michael Smith, bro, just reliable, solid player, fun second level blocker, looks for work when
work.
You know what I'm saying? Fantastic help guy. When you're a center, you gotta figure out, is that dude a good help guy? You know what I mean? I was doing my film work for years, and I was like, man, Joe Looney is not a good help guy for Connor Williams. XYZ is a better help. Like, this dude makes this guard better. This guy makes that guard better. Man, when you get a gangster and you can put him at center, you know what I mean? Mostly teams try to hide center amongst their guards, right? John Michael Smith, when he's playing center, like, you can just have this trio of dudes in the middle, everybody just mauling people, moving people. Fantastic combo guy. He knows how to be the outside guy. Boom, bang with the flipper. Walk somebody up to second level. Toss them on top of a linebacker. The timing's good. The screen game is good. John Michael Smith is a dude, man. I love that guy.
And so many teams are now running duo, bots, where they're just saying, hey, we're not going to base block this stuff anymore. We're just going to double team to the backer and just make that a part of our inside zone. And basically it's a gap scheme, but it ends up looking like inside zone. I mean, Dallas did it a lot, and they ran a lot of GT counter. I think that Smith comes in at guard, and he also has that center flexibility, and he just and he comes in and he just kills it for you. All right, Voch. Before you go, just give us a quick rundown of before we put a nail in the coffin on these on these interior linemen. Voorhees, we got Steve Avila, we got Whippler. I got to go do some more homework on Whippler. According to Mr. Voch Lombardi.
Did you watch Did you watch the Wisconsin kid Tippmann?
I have watched Tippmann, center,
Tippmann
right?
cool. Tippmann cool, yeah.
Yeah, he is. Those Wisconsin linemen, they do it. Like we drafted a lineman from Wisconsin last year. Like those guys do it. So I'm not mad at it. No, we didn't draft a lineman, but we ended up. Did he come into camp? I don't know what ended up happening. We got a lineman from Wisconsin.
Something. Wisconsin.
They are running it. Anyway,
Wisconsin State. That's what it was. Yeah. Wisconsin State.
John Michael Smith is number 1, and then 1A Torrance. I got to do some more homework. I have my homework on Torrance, but I want to look at what Voch was talking about, and just kind of lock in on that. Voch, just run through a few tackles that you want to talk about, and we'll get out of here.
In no order, DeJuan Jones deserves your respect. Long lengths. May not have the best feet in the world, but if you got long length, like you use your feet to get in good position to put hands on people. The long arms is how he gets in position to put hands on people, right? Because he can reach you from wherever you are. Fantastic strength, fantastic player. He's the dude that I'm seeing mocked in the third, man. He might be like a mid-second round guy by time the process is over with. Skoronski, I need to see him work on his hand technique because I don't want to see him go to guard. I just don't think he's powerful enough to go to guard. Leave him at tackle, let him work on how to deal with long arm guys. He'll be fine. I don't mind the player. I'm just not drafting him at 12th overall. Broderick Jones is a raw player, super athletic player. He's another guy people say that needs to get a little bit stronger. I don't think he needs to get stronger. They all can get stronger. I just think he needs to work on his technique so he plays strong, so he can apply strength to him, right? Tyler Smith is strong, but he ends up stumbling sometimes because of technique. I think Broderick is that same kind of guy that's missing technique. Anton Harrison from Oklahoma, he's another guy. He had a really good year and one really bad year. I don't remember which one it was. One year he was lazy as hell, but the other year, like he had some get up and go, and his pass set was cool. His arm length is some, you know what I mean, reaching, grabbing, boom, 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 good stuff. Good balance. He's probably going to be like a guy that goes in the 30s somewhere, possibly. I like him a lot. Paris Johnson, not Campbell. Yes. Paris Johnson is the other Ohio State tackle. It's interesting because he's been talked about as the higher guy. Because of his upside, right? Like they see his size and how he moves. They see his athleticism, and they do see the spurts.
Reminds me of Charles Cross a lot.
Sure, yeah, sure. He has that in him. You know what I mean? It's just that he has a very high ceiling. You know what I mean? He has the body and the athleticism, and to do all these things. But we just need to put the coaching in the place where he can get to that place. We don't know if he can get to that place. If he can get to that place, he could be the best offensive lineman in his class. It's just that I don't know if he's going to get to that place. So I'm floor guy. What are you going to give me? I just think DeJuan Jones is a better player right now. Paris Johnson.
Wow, that's good stuff, right?
Darnell Wright, the right tackle from Tennessee, hands, technician. So what I was just talking about with the Northwestern kid, the technique that he doesn't have, Darnell Wright took all that shit. You know what I mean? When look, bro, they at the end of the movie and the Monstars got the basketball and they gave their powers back. Darnell Wright took a little extra technique from the basketball, bro, because I think that's how he handled Will Anderson, right? Mm-hmm. And y'all go watch Tennessee versus Alabama, man. Will Anderson tried all that bully stuff and it wasn't working. Because hands on the wrist. Control you, boom, hands down the middle, bow, slap you down, boom, pulling cloth. A sneaky player, like it warms my heart as a former offensive lineman to see dudes that know how to hold and it don't get a flag for it.
Yeah,
Darnell Wright know how to hold people, but that's a skill. That's a technique. He knows, just like wide receivers got to know how to push off. DBs got to know how to grab a little bit and not get caught. They got to know when to let go. Cheating is a part of football now, right? So I love how Darnell Wright knows how to hold guys. He knows how to grab a little bit of cloth just to get you off your square. If you long arm him with a hand in his chest, pop, get down, boom, pull you down, you hit the ground. He's fantastic with that. And he really put all that technique together to have a good day against Will Anderson from Alabama. Not the most physically talented player in terms of, like his, strength and all that, but the technique is there. So he plays tackle. The movement is fine. The technique is fine. Give him some off-season peanut butter, put him in the weight room. He'll be good to go. I was supposed to watch the Maryland kid, but I got lazy. So that's it.
He's one that I watched as well. Doug, he's a really good player. I have a second on him, Voch, but again, tackles and quarterbacks go early, so that'll be interesting. Voch, thank you so much for coming on, buddy. Just somebody who I trust, y'all, and you guys replay this. We got to just about an hour on old lineman. Like, who else is doing that? Like, come on, man. Like, you're not gonna get this type of quality anywhere else, and you guys will be able to go back to this once we draft one of these guys, because I do think that Dallas, within the first 3 picks, will probably hit a lineman just to make our group. It was really good last year to make it special. I'm a plug and play type guy, so let's see what ends up happening there. Voch, plug yourself, bro.
I'll see y'all on the volume tomorrow at this time, 3:06. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all to pieces, man. Phil Collins face, shouts out to you. What else we got? Follow me on Twitter, VOCHLOMBARDI. Plug your stuff too, Fuster King, because I'm gonna put this out too.
Oh yeah, you like okay, cool. Yeah, Fuster King, no more Cowboys Nation TV. That's the big change. And shout out to Voch for pushing me to do that, man. It's me. I am who I am. It's Fuster King. He's Voch Lombardi, Skywalker still. Like, we are us. We want to make sure that it's known that we built this. Yes, it's Cowboys based, but we also put a lot of work in as well. So we want that to be seen. This was awesome. Voch, I want to come back and do running backs with you. I already ranked my running backs, but I just want to talk with you.
Jameer Gibbs is a 26th overall guy, Fuster King. That's what you wanted to hear, sir.
Hey, I've been going on rants that like the gap ain't as big as people think when it comes to Robinson and Gibbs. I'm telling you.
Bijan amazing, but Gibbs is a fantastic player, and if he's the best player on the board at 26, he's not gonna make it to 58. He's not gonna make it. So
not even close.
If he's the best guy and you've taken care of business in free agency, you've cleaned up your wide receiver problems, you cleaned up some of your offensive line. Well, because there's some guys in the third round that we can get here. But if you've definitely cleaned up wide receiver, man, I'm not opposed to taking Gibbs at 26.
Especially for what he does in the receiving game. So,
man, go watch Texas.
Ooh, yeah. People want to talk about a running back duel. He might have stole the show in that game. So, but anyway, man, it's your boy Fuss as always. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. We are out of here. You guys make sure that you watch Voch on the volume tomorrow. Peace.